So we shall be reading from text 21 onwards from the 9th chapter of Srimad Bhagavatam, first canto, 9th chapter. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shrivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So text 21 is Sarvatmana Samadrisho Yadyavsyan Krite Tankritam Mati Vaishamyam Niravadhyasya Na Kochit. Translation. Being the absolute personality of Godhead, He is present in everyone's heart. He is equally kind to everyone, and He is free from the false ego of differentiation. Therefore, whatever He does is free from material inabilities. He is equibalanced. So, Bhishmadev, in his glorification of the Supreme Lord, is actually narrating here some of the attributes of the Lord. So he says, first of all, the Lord is seated in everyone's heart. And He is equally kind to everyone. In this world, the differentiation that this is my friend or this is my enemy, these are my family members, these are others, is mainly because of the false sense of identifying oneself with the body. Because a person thinks himself or herself to be this body, therefore, there is differentiation between mine and others. But that differentiation does not exist in the Lord, because for the Lord, everyone is His own. As Krishna says in Gita, Mamaya Amsha Jiva Loke, Jiva Bhuta Sanatana. Every living entity is my Amsha. No. So since every living entity is Amsha of the Supreme Lord, therefore, the being Amsha and part and parcel of the Lord, every living entity is actually more or less equally dear to the Lord. Although Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, that Samoham Sarva Bhuteshu Name Dvesho Sinapriya. I am equal to all. I don't differentiate between anyone. Nobody is my enemy, nobody is my friend. But he says, Ye bhajanti tuman bhaktya mai te teshu chapyaham. But those who actually worship me, I am in them and they are in me. So, although the Lord is equal to everyone, yet, we'll find that the Lord has, special inclination towards His devotees. And that does not nullify the quality of equality. For example, if suppose a loving, kind father has few sons or few children. So one of the child is very obedient, very loyal to the father. And he's always being, righteous, always being eager to fulfill the desires of the father. And there's one child who is disobedient to the father, always working in a way to rebel against the father. disobedient, rebellious to father. So naturally, the one who is one who is actually obedient to father, the father will have different relationship with that person, that son. Although all the children being born from him, from his body, they'll be equally dear to the father. Now, just imagine if the obedient son thinks, okay, because this brother of mine is disobedient to my father, so let me torment him, let me torture him, let me kill him. That attitude is not going to please the father. Just because he's obedient, he's willing to always execute the will of the father, this attitude is definitely not going to be pleasing to the father. Even though the disobedient child may be even, not only rebellious, but willing to kill the father, that only causes pain to the father's heart. But father never thinks, a loving and kind father never thinks of, ill of his children. So similarly, Krishna, for him, every living entity is his child. So if somebody thinks, oh, I've been chanting Hare Krishna, I am devotee. So, and here, this is an atheist, he's a non-devotee. So I can do anyway, anything to this person. Like, in some, what do you call, radical religions, they think, oh, these people, they are not following our gods or our religion, then they should be killed. They don't have right to live. But they foolishly think that this attitude of theirs will be pleasing to the Supreme Lord. Even if somebody happens to be a Vaishnava, if he is inimical towards other living entities, if he is interfering with the free will of other living entities, that is not at all pleasing to the Supreme Lord. Krishna does not interfere with anyone's free will. And similarly, obedient servant of Krishna, a devotee of the Supreme Lord, never interferes with the free will of living entities. Although the devotees, they are actually very merciful and kind. They do not interfere with the free will of the living entities, but they somehow or other inspire the living entities who are rebellious against the Supreme Lord to become subservient to the Lord. They devise, techniques, different techniques to inspire the conditioned souls who are rebellious against the God, against the Supreme Lord, to actually surrender to the Supreme Lord. But the Supreme Lord, he is equally kind to everyone. He doesn't have any false ego. He doesn't have any sense of I and mine. Everything for Krishna is belonging to him. There is no differentiation of this is mine and this is others. Everyone and everything belongs to Krishna. So text 22, Vishnudev says, Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu pasya bhupanukampitam yanme smus tejataha sakshat Krishno darshanam agataham. Yet, despite his being equally kind to everyone, he has graciously come before me while I am ending my life, for I am his unflinching servitor. Tathapi ekanta bhakteshu. This is actually very significant. Ekanta. Ekanta means generally seclusion. Ekanta means, without any second. Like, sometime in Hindi also they use the word ekant. Mujhe ekant mein rehna. I want to be, alone. So ekanta means without any second, alone. So ekanta bhakteshu means the devotees who have no other priorities or no other thought in the mind other than serving Krishna. Exclusive devotion to Krishna. That is what Prabhupada is unflinching servitor, ekanta bhakteshu. Anukampita, out of his anukampa. Anukampa means mercy, out of his great kindness. So he says, just say, my dear Yudhishthira Maharaj, out of his great mercy, he has come to see me. So he has come to give me his darshan. Krishna darshanam agata. He has come here kindly to give me his darshan. While I am tajatas, I am ready to give up this body. Asum tejata means I am about to finish my life. Because Bhishma Deva was laying in the bed of arrows, he was about to leave this world. Krishna kindly came to give his darshan to Bhishma Deva because he had been a great devotee. So this is a very significant instruction from Bhishma Deva. A devotee never worries about, oh, what will happen to me? Will I be able to remember Krishna? Will there be, any ways or means for my deliverance from the conditioned life? A devotee never thinks like that. Because no matter how many rounds we may chant, no matter how many books we may read, how many kirtans we may sing or hear, ultimately, at the end of our life, it is only anukampa of the Supreme Lord, anukampa of Krishna, the great mercy of Krishna that will be, making us remember him or see him face to face. It's not by our endeavor that we become entitled to have Krishna face to face or see Krishna face to face. Text 23, Bhaktyavesh mano yasmin vacha yannama kirtayan tyajan kalevaram yogi muchyate kama karma bhi. The personality of Godhead who appears in the mind of the devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting of the holy name releases the devotee from the bondage of fruitless activities at the time of his quitting the material body. So here there is another significant lesson. The Supreme Lord who appears in the mind of a devotee by attentive devotion and meditation and by chanting his holy name. So this is the process of, also sadhana bhakti. Bhaktyavesh mano yasmin vacha yan nama kirtayan. Vacha yan nama kirtan means one who constantly chants the names of Krishna. So when a living entity who has performed devotional service to Krishna is about to leave his body, Tajan Kalevaram Yoga, he is about to leave his body, then Muchyate Kama Karma. Krishna releases him from Kama. Kama means the desire for material enjoyment. And Karma Bhi means the results. So Kama Karma Bhi means the results of one's, activities which were dedicated for Kama or fulfilling the sense gratification or sense gratification desires. So in this world, if anyone is putting effort to enjoy the senses, simultaneously doing bhakti of Krishna. So ordinarily, if a person is, meditating on sense gratification and planning for sense gratification, desiring some form of sense gratification, that gives birth to a seed. Every time a person desires any form of enjoyment, it gives birth to a seed. And that seed gradually fructifies. We're discussing today morning also in our discussion that Paramatma is there in our heart and he simply facilitates. He facilitates the desires. Upadishta Anumanta, Bharta Bhokta Maheshwar. So Paramatma's job is, he is there in everyone's heart, and he is Upadrishta, he is watching, oh, what this person is desiring. And Anumanta, if the person has sufficient bank balance or karma, then he sanctions also. But if the person does not have sufficient bank balance of karma, then Bharta Bhokta. Then Krishna, as the Bharta, as the maintainer, guides the living entity how he or she can accumulate some karma to fulfill that desire. So Krishna, as Paramatma, gives guidance to living entity. Okay, you wanted to, become a millionaire. You don't have karma, so do this thing. Try to perform such and such activities, worship Kubera, or do more and more charity of whatever you possess, and you will accumulate karma to be a millionaire. So Krishna, as Bharta, as the maintainer, he provides intelligence and guidance from within to fulfill the desires of living entities. But if the same living entity is engaged in devotional service, Krishna muchyate kama karmati. When a living entity, then the devotee is about to leave his body, tajam kalevaram yogi muchyate kama karmati. When a living entity is about to leave his body, Krishna destroys all the seeds that the devotee might have accumulated in the form of different desires, and muchyate, and frees him from the cycle of birth and death. So this is actually very crucial. When a living entity is meditating on Krishna, chanting his holy names, Krishna is gradually destroying. Krishna destroys the karma, kama karma bhi, the results of one's fruit activities. Krishna completely destroys that. And therefore, the living entity can actually attain the abode of the Supreme Lord, spiritual world. We go to 24. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshatam. Sadeva Devo Bhagavan Pratikshadam. Kalevaram Yavadidam Hinom Aham. Prasanna Hasaruna Lochan Lochanolasan Mukun Mukham Bhujo Dhyana Pathaschatur Bhujay. May my Lord, who is four-handed and whose beautifully decorated lotus face with eyes as red as the rising sun is smiling, kindly await me at the moment when I quit this material body. So, although Krishna was in the two-handed form on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, when Bhishmadev is about to leave his body, Krishna was seen as two-handed form, but Bhishmadev could see him as four-handed Vishnu or four-handed Krishna's form. So, Bhishmadev is seeing Krishna as four-handed form, and he's meditating on Krishna's lotus face. The eyes of the Lord appearing as the rising sun, the reddish like the rising sun. So he's praying, may the Lord, remain in my presence when I'm leaving this body. Text 25. Sutta Uvacham Yudhishthirastad Akarnyam Shayanam Shara. Shayanam Sharapanjare Aprichat Vidvan Dharman Rishinam Chanu Shnvatam. Sutta Goswami said, Maharaj Yudhishthira, after hearing Bhishmadev speak in that appealing tone, asked him in the presence of all great rishis about the essential principles of various religious duties. So Yudhishthira Maharaj, because he was feeling depressed that he had been instrumental in killing so many Kshatriyas, so many kings from all over the world. And he was thinking that he is actually sinful. So Bhishmadev pacified him with beautiful instructions as we have been reading now. So after hearing, when Yudhishthira Maharaj became pacified, he knew that Bhishmadev, although he did not become the king, but he was actually a worthy king. Because not only he was a great devotee of the Lord, but he was also an expert administrator. He was extremely well versed with the principles of dharma and the principles of niti and in the principles of rajniti, the politics, the how a king is supposed to behave and how a king is supposed to rule. He knew that very well. So Yudhishthira Maharaj started asking many questions from Bhishmadev. Of course, Srimad Bhagavatam does not describe those questions by Bhishmadev, but Mahabharata has at great length. Bhishmadev is being asked by Yudhishthira Maharaj so many questions on dharma, on ruling, how a king should be ruling justly. So it's very interesting that Bhishmadev is laying in the bed of arrows, and yet he had such clear understanding. Even though he was in such a painful condition, yet Bhishmadev could actually instruct to Yudhishthira Maharaj how to rule the citizens. Text 26. Purusha-svabhava vihitan yatha varnam yatha shramam vairagya ragopadhikyan amna tobhya lakshanan. So what all subjects were discussed by Bhishmadev, the summary is being given here. Now, if anyone is interested in knowing the details about these subjects, they can actually refer to Mahabharata. Because in Mahabharata, Yudhishthira Maharaj asked many questions and Bhishmadev kept replying those questions. So, for example, Yudhishthira Maharaj also asked from Bhishmadev on the classifications of caste and orders. Yatha Varnam, Yatha Ashramam. Varna means the four spiritual orders, four social orders. Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. These are called Varna. And Ashrama means the four spiritual orders. So, Brahmachari, Grahastha, Vanaprastha, Sannyas. So based on Varna and Ashram, every living entity has specific duties. Like, say for example, Brahmana. A Brahmana who is a Brahmachari, that means a young boy, Brahmachari, Brahmana, he has certain duties. Brahmachari, Gurukule, Vasanadanto. So the duty of a Brahmachari is that he lives in Gurukul and Vasanadanto. He controls his mind and senses. And what does he do? Guru Hita. He's always engaged in the activities for the benefit of his guru, for the benefit of his teacher. So this is the duty of a Brahmachari. So Brahmachari again could be a Brahmana, he could be Kshatriya or could be Vaishya. Shudras of course do not have Brahmachari ashram. They only follow one ashram, Grahastha ashram. So a Brahmana and Kshatriya and Vaishya, when they three people go, all the three Brahmacharis, they go to Gurukul. they will have specific duties. For example, when they all go to Gurukul, a Brahmana boy would actually be more, performing the activities of Patan Patan, Yajan Yajan. So, a Brahmana boy, when he goes to Gurukul, he would read more and more scriptures. And similarly, when a Kshatriya goes to Gurukul, his interest would be to learn the art of administration, how to rule the citizens. So Sam, Dam, Dand, Bhed, all the diplomacy, policies of diplomacy. He will also learn the different, arts of fighting, club fighting, archery fighting, or Malayud, fighting with, wrestling with the arms and hands. So in this way, a Kshatriya, when he goes to Gurukul, he will be interested in the things like, how to rule the citizens. He will learn the Niti Shastra, how to rule the citizens, how to subdue the citizens. He will learn, a Kshatriya would learn the different forms of, formations, Vyuha Rachna. Because a Kshatriya, when there's a battle, when he's fighting with opposing kings, he has to know the art of strategizing his armies. Strategizing the army is also a great art. In modern times, the people who actually are recruited in the army, they do not know anything about that. Even people who become big commanders, they have no idea about the strategizing the armies. The scriptures actually define. There are many view rachnas, many strategies of organizing the army, like Chakra View, Garuda View, Sarpa View. These are different formations of army strategizing. For example, a Kshatriya, he learns in the Gurukul how to form a Chakra View. Chakra View means when you go to the height of 7 palm trees, like one palm tree will be, about, say, typically a single palm tree would be, as high as, you can say 25, 30 feet, or maybe 40 feet at the most. No? So 7 times of that, if you go on that height. So maybe on say average with the palm tree is 50 feet at the most. So 7 times of that will be 350 feet. So when you go at the height of 350 feet and you look at the army formation, it will look like a chakra, the Sudarshan disc of the Lord. So that is called Chakra View. And from the same height, if you look at the army, and they appear to be in the form of a Garuda, the eagle bird. So that is called Garuda View. So it's not that they initially form and then, while fighting, it has to go all haywire. No. That strategy of the military used to be so intact that throughout the fight, throughout the battle, that formation will remain. Nobody breaks that formation. All the soldiers, they even move forward. Like, say Garuda View is described in the scriptures. The Garuda View is the view that the army is formed in the form of a Garuda. So if you look from the 7 palm trees height and you look at the army, they look like Garuda. And when they're moving forward, it looks like the Garuda is flapping his wings. So this kind of formation actually, if somebody enemy makes a Sarpa view is, kind of, they move like Sarpa. To subdue the Sarpa view, one has to know the art of Garuda View. Because Garuda View will be able to subdue the Sarpa view. So, like, we hear in the Mahabharata, Dronacharya, he one day during the battlefield, he formed Chapter-9. So Chapter-9 means the Sudarshan disc of the Lord Vishnu. He made the army formation in the form of a chakra. Now, to penetrate, because they were moving in the form of chakra, that formation, nobody knew how to penetrate except Arjun. Arjun was the only person who knew how to penetrate and destroy that formation and disperse all the soldiers so that they are disorganized. Because when they remain so organized, it becomes very difficult. Wherever they go, they actually chop off and kill everyone. All the enemies are actually destroyed. So on that day, Arjuna was actually driven away from the battlefield. Duryodhana and Dronacharya, they had made a scheme that the Arjun should be taken away from the battlefield. Some king went and challenged Arjun, and when Arjun went to fight with him, he started running away from the battlefield, taking Arjun away from the battlefield. And Arjun kept chasing that person, that king. So when Arjun went far away from the Kurukshetra battlefield, then Dronacharya formed the Chapter-9. The whole idea was that he wanted to capture Yudhishthira Maharaj in that Chapter-9. Because once Yudhishthira Maharaj is captured, the battle is over. Once the lead king on the opposing side is captured or killed, the battle is over. Killing is still okay. Even if he's killed, the other soldiers can continue fighting, other representatives. But once he's captured, he was considered servant of the winner king. And servants do not claim any, proprietorship on the kingdom. They remain as servants, subservient to the winner king. So the whole idea was to conquer and capture Yudhishthira Maharaj. So that battle should be over. So, if a Kshatriya goes to the Gurukul, he will learn all these arts. If a Vaishya goes to Gurukul, he will learn the art of protecting the cows. He will learn the art of agriculture. He will learn the art of banking from the scriptures. Because banks also lend the money. So according to scriptures, there is some restriction. Bank is not supposed to charge more than certain percentage of interest, because charging interest is one of the most heinous and sinful activity according to scriptures. Living by charging interest to others and giving them money and charging interest is considered one of the most sinful ways of livelihood. So it's not considered first class, but that's also one of the ways of earning livelihood. And scriptures give some guidance that how much maximum interest Vaishya can charge. So Vaishya goes to Gurukul, he learns all these details, all these things, to live by the scriptural rules and regulations. So in this way, Bhishma Dev was describing the duties of all the caste and orders of the life, all the varna and ashramas. And he says, he systematically in twofold division described the counteraction by detachment and interaction by attachment. So, counteraction by detachment. What does that mean? Vairagya rago adhik adhibhya. Vairagya means, what you call detachment, and raga means attachment. So, in spiritual life also, there are two margas, Vairagya and Raga. So, Vairagya or detachment means we detach ourselves from the activities which are the source of distress or miseries in the life. So that's actually the way of counteraction. Like say, for example, somebody is born poor, and no matter how much struggle a person may do, he is, not able uh, to have, money, working very hard, having a lot of good intelligence, having high education, still not able to earn sufficient money. So he has certain karma from the past life. Because people who exploit others a lot in this lifetime to get money, and take their portion of money, in the exploitative way, because the person is in helpless condition, you give them very meager, livelihood or pay rate, and you make them work very hard. So you develop karma. Suppose, 5 people are working under me, and I am getting benefit from them. Say, for example, I am getting 100,000 from each person's hard work, and I'm only paying them 10,000. So that is a serious karmic accumulation. And nowadays people think, oh, this is business, you can do businesses, everything is fair in the business. But no, the scriptures actually explain, if you exploit others to great degree, to that degree, you will be exploited in the next life. Similarly, you see some people in this world, they very much struggle. They're not able to get, a proper spouse or match for their marriage. So they have some karmic backlog because they have misused, the spouse in the previous lives. They have exploited the spouse. They have not fulfilled their duties toward the spouse. Like, take a simple example. Now of course it's a law, but according to karma, people are accumulating serious karma. Like, a boy and girl get married. So the girl, for some reason she said, okay, I don't want to live with this boy. She files divorce. Now, if she has child, she also claims alimony and child support. According to Dharma Shastra, if a woman is leaving the husband, first of all, that is not allowed. And for some reason, if she is leaving the husband, she should give back all the facilities she has taken from the husband. She should not take anything from the husband. In fact, whatever maintenance husband provided for all those years, she is indebted to the husband for that. So now people, the women especially who go through divorce, they think, oh, it's actually a good deal for me because I get so much money from my husband. Because I have 2 children from him or 3 children from him, I get so much child support, alimony, and free money for me. But they don't realize they are accumulating such serious karma. They have to pay back with the interest to the same person. So this is how eventually the slavery comes in picture. I know slavery was abolished in US and all over the world many years ago. But this is how people accumulate the karma for slavery, taking undue advantage, of law and karma. The law is set up, even the laws are set up, by the less intelligent, politicians nowadays. They think, oh, they are trying to be equal to everyone. But no, they are actually creating such heavy karma for people in general. And of course, politicians themselves also become heavily liable for the karma. So Bhishma, they've narrated all these details, very finer details of, the karmic reactions, the different rules and responsibilities, living entities have. So if I'm suffering from poverty, it is because some karma I have done in the past. I have exploited others. If I'm not able to get married, because I have misused my spouse in the past life. If I'm not having children, that means I have either aborted children or have neglected children in my past lives, not fulfilled my duty towards children, left them alone, to be, like orphans. So I don't get children in this life. Or if I was born as an orphan, that means I did not take care of my parents nicely in my previous life. Therefore, karmic reaction is, I don't get. I don't get care and protection from the parents. So counteraction is, you try to voluntarily take some austerity. Like say, for example, if a person has engaged in a lot of illicit activities, then in this lifetime, the person will have ill health. Bad health is naturally going to be the consequence of illicit sex in the previous lives. If somebody has drunk a lot of liquor in the past life, his teeth will be vakra. His teeth will be, that person will have a lot of teeth problem. So these are the consequences. Now, say for example, I'm born with twisted teeth. My teeth are improper. That means from in scripture we understand that I have drunk a lot of liquor in the past life. So what I do, I try to follow a regulated life in this lifetime. Refrain from liquor. And on the contrary, I try to perform some austerities, like fasting, regulating my, eating and drinking and everything. And I try to live a very regulated life, try to do more and more austerity. So that is counteraction by detachment. I try to detach myself from the activities which are going to bring serious consequences. And interaction by attachment. Attachment is the way to attach ourselves to some positive activities, that free us from not only the sinful reactions of past, but also give us some positive results. So somebody taking to the spiritual life, to chanting of the holy name, or practicing Krishna consciousness, that completely destroys all the reactions of previous lives, and also creates auspiciousness. The Prabhupada actually says in one of the lectures is, devotees simply go on the street and chant Hare Krishna. That creates immense auspiciousness for everyone. Even if people don't want to hear you, even if people don't pay attention to you, if you simply go on the streets and chant Hare Krishna in the kirtan, anyone who heard it is going to be benefited. The auspicious life for that person has started simply because he heard. And even if no human being heard, if animals heard, even the creepers and trees, the grass, they heard your chanting, they are benefited. Their auspicious life has started. So devotees chanting Hare Krishna, uplifts the atmosphere and makes the whole atmosphere, auspicious, creates auspiciousness for everyone. So that is the meaning of Vairagya Ragopa, Ragopa, Raga Upadhi Bhyam. Yeah. So this is the sum and substance of these few words. I think we'll stop here. Maybe we can take one or two questions.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have a question, not regarding the class of today, but right now what's happening in India regarding our, the Kashmir Pandits issue. So, we read in our history, right, Prabhuji, Jagannath Puri and even Vrindavan too, like how at a certain time all the temples were attacked and how the devotees kind of, taken care of deities and of course, the Dharma at that time. But, we are seeing it right now too. This is like just 4 days back, like ISKCON Bangladesh was attacked. These are all demonic activities. I do not see any difference between these things, what happened with Kashmir Pandits and our ISKCON in Bangalore versus like many years back, centuries back, what happened, attack on temples. It's all demonic activities. I feel like at that time too, of course, for us reading, we are helpless, and now seeing the things are still, we are helpless. How should we perceive this? Like, what should be our thoughts, like, mindset, like, in understanding this, and, the whole, how should we be situated in this situations, Prabhuji? Please advise.
Very good question, Margie. Thank you very much for bringing up that question. Very wonderful question. So, of course, whenever we hear such things or see such things happening to Vaishnavas or, people who are actually somewhat pious, we definitely feel, little sadness and sorrow in our heart, and we feel sympathetic towards them, which is actually, the duty of every Vaishnava. Vaishnava is always very kind. Vaishnava cannot see, what to speak of human beings, cannot even see the harm to any ant also come. So just because, the ants, they are so tiny and insignificant, apparently insignificant. Not that, I can trample them under my feet. But at the same time, a devotee also sees that whenever such things happen, the karma has a lot to play a role in it. Though we will never say to such people, oh, this was your karma, rascal, therefore you suffered. No, we don't go and tell them people like that. But at least in our heart, we understand that karma plays a very significant role. I just give you an example. According to scriptures, if a person who is a pure Vaishnava, pure devotee of the Lord, even if he goes amidst of all the radical religious people who are actually going around and killing everyone, when a pure devotee comes in their presence, they leave him unharmed. They simply cannot do anything to them, because Krishna is there in everyone's heart as Paramatma. So Krishna, if he does not sanction that, no, you cannot touch this person is my pure devotee, that person has no ability, no matter who he or she may be. Even if that person is the king of the whole world and the whole world's army that at his disposal, if Krishna does not give sanction, that person will be completely helpless. Now just take history, for example. Of course, we don't get to hear that history too much, but I remember in childhood, we read that history. For example, Shivaji Maharaj, he was Maratha king. He was arrested in Agra by Aurangzeb. Now, Aurangzeb was such a tyrant. He had killed so many Hindus. He buried the Hindus behind the wall. He had done so much tyranny on Hindus. But Shivaji Maharaj was right in his prison cell. He didn't kill him. He didn't do any harm to Shivaji Maharaj. Now, of course, Shivaji Maharaj was his prisoner. He could have killed him, right? But he didn't do anything. On the contrary, when Shivaji Maharaj acted as, being sick, he allowed to bring all the fruits and all kinds of vegetables and everything to be donated by Shivaji Maharaj. He was arranging everything. Just imagine. So this is the proof that even though, sometimes we see that some people are persecuted, there's a hidden karma behind it. I'll just take a simple example, of course, it's not one of the best example, but, we know in our ISKCON society also, some children were abused long ago, right? Few decades ago, children were abused. And some of the abusers, they went unpunished. I know at least, a couple of people like that who went completely unpunished because couldn't be proved. And therefore, children have, in our ISKCON studies, a lot of children have resentment against them, right? And, these people go around and they are even, one of them is actually holding some good position in this ISKCON. So that creates a lot of resentment in the people. Now, you may see that, oh, this person got went unpunished. Now, and if the person is sincere, in Krishna consciousness, then Krishna will forgive. probably Krishna will forgive. But if the person is thinking, see, I did a lot of nonsense, but I got away with it. Nobody gets away with it. Just because I'm chanting Hare Krishna doesn't mean that I'm, entitled to any nonsense. So such people in next life, they are born in a very helpless condition to be given the same reaction. So suppose, the person who abused the children, in next life he's born as a girl or a woman in some country, and becomes naturally, because he has practiced Krishna consciousness, naturally becomes interested in Krishna consciousness and gets exploited, gets, many times, exploited. So we think, oh, see, such a devotee girl, what she has to do to suffer this kind of thing. We cannot see what that person is carrying, the living entity is carrying, what kind of karma from the past. So yes, we try to extend our help. We don't try to tell them, oh, you must have done something wrong, suffering. We never say such a thing to people who are actually suffering. But this is how our perspective should be, that Krishna does not, or material nature for that matter, does not punish any innocent person. No innocent ever gets punished. In the laws of state, in the federal laws, an innocent person may get punished, apparently. Of course, no innocent person gets punished by the laws of material nature. Material nature is very precise and perfect. Makes sense, Madhuri?
Yes, Prabhuji. I think there is a follow-up question in the chat box.
Sure, we can go ahead, maybe, 6:33. Maybe we can take one follow-up.
Yeah, there is a follow-up question in the chat box, Prabhuji.
So whoever has followed, they can read. Who has followed?
I can read that, Prabhuji.
Sure,
so it's a Shama Saki Gopi Mataji. So Hare Krishna Prabhu, obeisances. Sometimes we know that the suffering that has come to us is because of our past karma. Then how can we change it? It seems we have no choice but to suffer in this life. We can only choose to do right karma now, that's all. For example, we know a person who has no motivation or determination to do anything in his life, and it's because of his past karma. It seems that the choice to get up and work and make a career is in one's hand only, but it's clear that the person can't do it at all. So it seems some things can't be changed at all, even though it seems easy. And why can't we just get over our past karma?
Well, it's a very, intricate subject matter. The karma is a very intricate subject matter. So we can always change our destiny by taking the right course of action. Right course of action is always in our hands. Like, His Holiness Radhan Swami Maharaj gives a very beautiful example. He says, just imagine, I'm taking a flight from, say, Sacramento to go to New York City. So I sit in the flight, and once the flight takes off, then I think, oh, no, I don't want to go to New York. I want to go back to Sacramento. Okay. So I go and tell the air hostess, stop the flight. I want to go back to Sacramento. What do you think she will say? Sorry, you lost your freedom. You already made the choice, because before even closing the gate, they say, if anyone wants to, if you think you are on the wrong flight, this is where we are going. So if you want to leave, please leave. But I made a choice. So once the flight door is closed, I have option. I can go and start fighting with them, create a scene, and put myself in trouble, start fighting with people sitting next to me, start fighting with everyone, make everyone's journey miserable, make my journey miserable, right? Or what I can do is I can sit down silently now. Okay, I made a choice. I made a wrong choice. I have to go to New York. Let me go to New York. Once I reach there, I will have again a choice to come back to Sacramento. Okay. So once we make a choice in our life, sometimes we are put in a helpless condition. We have no option but to fulfill that karma of the choice that we made. Like say, for example, uh, somebody want to live brahmachari, so joins the brahmachari ashram, and say for some moments he mind changes. Okay, maybe I should get married. Now once he got married, and after 6 months, he think, oh, what the hell, what did I do? I was good in brahmachari ashram. Now he's stuck. Now he cannot say that, okay, I want to go back to brahmachari ashram. So he has to stay in the household life for maybe 20-25 years, fulfill all his obligations. And after fulfilling all his worldly duties, he will have again choice to move forward, to make a choice again. So it's up to us. The destiny, sometimes it appears that destiny is making me helpless, but it's not the case. Some intricate karma has made me helpless now. I'm not able to make a choice, or I have to just go through it. But for every aspect of life, at some point of time, there is freedom. There is some free choices given to us. So whenever I find myself in a situation that I'm helpless, I should understand that this is karma. Karma has put me in a helpless condition. Let me get through it. So whenever the time comes, when this particular karma is over, then maybe I will have another choice again. By Krishna's mercy, I will utilize that choice wisely. So that's how we should look at it. I hope that answers your question, Shama Saki, Madhavi.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes, Prabhu. Thank you so much, Prabhu. So I have like one more like follow up. So I was talking to some other devotee, and the devotee was telling me about like, so because I was asking about this particular person, because me and Shamasaki keep telling him that, okay, because of your past karma, you know that this is how your life will be like, very miserable. But why don't you just get up? So this other devotee was telling me that this is how this person will be purified of his karma. Because of his past karma, he will not be able to make that choice. So sometimes we have to suffer the reactions of our past karma by going through that journey or by making the wrong choices. So is that also understanding correct? Like, as you said, that everything is in our hands and we can change everything, but sometimes we have to go through that situation. Even one astrologer told me also like that I have to go through that particular situation and suffer and get purified by making wrong choices. So is that also understanding correct, that we will have to suffer sometimes by making wrong choices and get purified?
Well, it's, as I said, it's a very intricate subject matter. Karma is a very intricate subject matter. Making choice in this lifetime depending on many factors. One is our karma from the past. Other, the intelligence that we have. And intelligence that we have is also nothing but based on our karma from the past. Knowledge that we have also is one of the factors how we can make choices. Like, for example, take a simple example. I suppose decide, okay, I want to invest in stock market. So I have certain knowledge. Okay, I think this stock market, particular stock has been doing good, so I can maybe invest in this particular one. Or maybe this particular business is actually flourishing now. Maybe I can start business in this particular field. Okay, so I have certain knowledge and I have certain amount of intelligence. So I start the business also in that particular field, but my intelligence is also limited, based on my karma from the past. So I will not be able to do something that a very successful businessman did because my karma is limited. My intelligence is limited. So some people think, oh, see, this person, he made investment in such and such stock and now he's multi-millionaire. Well, he had karma like that. You don't have karma. So no matter how much investments you do in different stocks, you will not be able to, be successful. So if this person started this particular business, he started his own IT company and he has become multi-millionaire now. You will not be able to do it because you don't have karma. You don't have intelligence to exactly follow the same pattern that person followed. So the choices that we make in our life is dependent on many factors, which ultimately boils down to karma. But one choice, which is actually the absolute choice, is right in our hands, which helps us to come out of all this vicious cycle of making bad choices and going to certain destiny, again making good choice and going to certain destiny, making bad choice and going to destiny. So if we take the absolute choice of surrendering to Krishna, taking with the process of Krishna consciousness, then we actually become completely freed from all the karmic reactions. We start rising above. Krishna start giving us good intelligence also and sufficient knowledge also, as Krishna says in Gita, that he is the one who gives knowledge, forgetfulness, and remembrance. So these are the important factors which actually help us to make right choices in life. So right choices we'll be able to make only if we make a choice of becoming Krishna conscious. Otherwise, we will be stuck in a very complicated mesh of karma, where there's no guarantee that our intelligence and decision that we make in life will bring us happiness or distress. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Wonderful.
I think we'll stop here. Vancha kalpataru